What's up, guys? Okay, so we're moving forward with the project. We've got, we started tearing everything apart. Got all the factory turbo stuff off. Got the all the the Odyssey downpipe I had on there off. Got basically everything torn off here to start putting the other stuff on. Now, I got the manifold right there. Now, I'm just gonna go ahead and mock it up on here now because I still need to do some stuff to it. So I ordered a wastegate, and the wastegate that I'm gonna be using is a V-band wastegate, and this is a 4-bolt flange. So I ordered a V-band wastegate, and this is gonna be, that's gonna have to be cut off and then weld the V-band on there. So I'm gonna put it on here, but it's gonna have to come back off anyway. So I'm just kind of getting an idea where everything is, and where everything is gonna, the downpipe and all that, where that's gonna go down through here to make sure, I have the downpipe kind of orientated right. So, and then we have to do, I already started, this is the feed line, the -4 feed line. I gotta basically put some Teflon tape on that, put that in there, and I need to put the -8 drain line fitting on there. Let's see. Yeah, right here. So this will go on. This will go on here for the drain line. That's a -10, I believe. So yeah, we're moving along here. What I did notice once I took the turbo off, I don't know if you can see it or not, but you can get a better look at my motor mounts that I used. These are CX Racing motor mounts that were used, that are made for a Toyota Hilux, and I just modified them a little bit, and you can see where it kind of intersects my K-member a little bit offset, because on JZ's the motor mounts are offset. Like this one's here, and the other side, the other one's over here, so they're kind of offset. So I welded a tab under here. I don't know, you can't really see it, but yeah, kind of like right there. You can see where I welded a tab that extends it out so that I can put 2 bolts in it, and it's held up pretty well. No issues with the as far as the mounting and the welding and all that. What I did notice is there's like a poly bushing in here, and that cracked right there. Yeah, I wouldn't have known that unless I took the turbo off. So, and this side over here is fine. You can see, yeah, this one's fine here, but the other one is cracked. So I tried to move the motor, and it's not moving or anything like that. I don't know why it just split right there at the top. I mean, the motor's not moving at all. I don't know. I might just leave it, or I may see if I can order another one of those poly bushings, but I don't think it's really a big deal. I mean, honestly, what I should do is redo this whole thing and make like a different mount here, and then come over with like a tubular, some tubing or something, some, I don't know, 1.5-inch tubing, and just weld to this plate and make it a solid motor mount on both sides, and make it a lot easier. Because right now I have to disconnect a whole bunch of stuff to get to this bushing, and I don't know, it's just, it was good for when I first built this car. It was good because I was driving on the street, and when you're driving on the street, you kind of want an isolator to keep vibration down a little bit. But since we're just going to be racing this car, I don't really care. So. But anyway, let me get to it. I'll get the manifold on, and then I'll come back and we'll just kind of go through each step. So, okay, so we got the drain line hooked up, or the drain fitting, and you reuse your factory gasket on that. And then I did the feed line. I used Teflon tape and some thread sealer. This stuff here, I like to use both on it. And that, this one here, if this leaks, that's not the one you want to have to change after you have your manifold on here and everything, if this one leaks. So I went ahead and doubled it up, did both, and hopefully that doesn't leak, but you never know. So okay, so next we're going to put the manifold on, and see what kind of clearance we have here up against the shock tower. So, all right, so the manifold's dropped in. I only got a couple bolts on here to just to hold it, because like I said, I have to take this back out in order to do the wastegate flange. So, and the wastegate flange is probably also gonna have to be extended a little bit. I don't think that, because I bought a 46 millimeter precision wastegate, and I think it's gonna hit this runner here, but we'll see. I haven't got it yet, so I might have to just extend it out to this area here. I don't know. But look at how close that is to the shock tower. I mean, that's pretty tight. Let me see. See if we can measure it here. Okay, I can just get that in there. That is 20 thou, 22, 25, and that's probably the same, 25. Okay, so about 100 thousandths. So I have 100 thousandths gap between the runner and the shock tower. I mean, it should be okay. I don't see it being a problem. I mean, if it touches it, oh well. I mean, it's not that big of a deal. But okay, so yeah, this CX Racing manifold came with these bolts here. Came with these bolts. So what I did was, instead of using bolts, because the turbo, yeah, the turbo right there, it's very hard to get these bolts in, you know, because the housing is in the way. I mean, even if, like over here, you know, it's like kind of a pain to get back in here with a wrench and being able to start it up here. I mean, imagine. Anyway, you get the idea. So what I did was, I cut the head off of these bolts. I only did 2 so far, but I turned them into studs, okay, and just screwed them in. And I might Loctite them in or something like that. I'm not sure, but that way, with it being a stud, it's easier just to get this on and then get it started and get it down on there. It's just going to be easier. So I may upgrade later on, because I don't think these bolts are like Chinese bolts. I don't think they're any good. I'd prefer to have like some grade 8 hardware on these, but it is what it is, and I'll use it for now. So, all right, let me get the turbo on there, and then we'll take a look at it, and with the downpipe and all that. Okay, got the turbo on. Like I was telling you, the studs make it a lot easier. It's easier to get that started. But anyway, man, everything's going really smoothly so far. Haven't had any problems yet. We have, the next thing I need to do would be to Teflon tape this fitting in for the feed line, and that feed line is going to wrap around here and go down. Let's see. Hard to do this one hand. And then it's gonna come around and meet right there. So it'll be kind of around the side of the turbo like that. I was looking at it earlier, and I really can't run it back behind here because it'll be laying on that runner right there, and I don't know, I don't really want that. I know it's stainless steel, but I don't think it's a good idea to have it laying on that runner, because there was only one way to get it to this fitting through the runner, and there was no way to do it without touching. So I'm gonna go ahead and just keep it on this side. Keeps it clear of the runners, and we'll be good to go. So let me throw the down. Okay, yeah, like I said, I'm gonna test fit the downpipe right now, and what else? Maybe test fit some intercooler piping. I have a bunch of different bends over here. I have this one. I have a few more in here, and I have a few pieces and a few. I actually have a whole bunch. I bought like a whole kit like a couple of years ago. When I first started doing this swap, I bought a whole kit and I had a bunch of extra piping. So I should have what I need to finish the intercooler piping. So yeah, starting to look really good. Fox bodies aren't supposed to look like this. I get so many people that, I mean, I get comments on my videos from months ago that are like telling me that this is like blasphemy to do this to a Fox body. But I mean, if this thing makes 500-600 horsepower, I mean, I'm not going to complain. You know what I mean? I mean, would I rather have a V8? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. I honestly, at this point, I don't care because I've done it so much. I've had 1,000 horsepower V8s, and it's just, to me, this is really interesting and cool. So anyway, let me put the downpipe on, and we'll see what that looks like. All right, so we got the downpipe on, and doing the mock-up on the other motor actually really helped. It makes it fit pretty good. I mean, just initially I may have to clock it a little bit around here, but I got a few tacks on it, but yeah, it looks pretty good. It's gonna be fitting like that. Kind of comes close to this wire here. I may have to relocate that. I may have to run that wire maybe lower or bring it up here and around. I'm not sure. We'll see. That's really actually the least of my concerns, because that's a wire. We can extend it or we can do whatever. That all that is the alternator wire. So, and then you can look under the car, see how it's gonna kind of dump out right there. That's it. And then the wastegate, I'll have the wastegate coming down and just be right next to it. So they'll both dump out right here. There's plenty of room in this area, so yeah, that's pretty much how we're gonna do it. I'm not a big fan of coming out the fenders or anything like cutting your fenders up. I'm not a big fan of that. I know some people do. They'll cut a hole here. Like I could have done that. I could have cut a hole in this part of the the fender here, gone through here, come out the side of the car. I mean, I see people do that all the time. Come out the side of the car, come out down here. I don't know. I just like it coming out from underneath. It's to me, it just looks better. It looks cleaner. It doesn't look so, I don't know, the exhaust coming out the fender, to me, it's kind of a played out thing, unless it's like a X275 or a drag radial car or something like that, where you need, because they actually use that as to hold the front end down of the car. They'll point the exhaust up, like they use bullhorns, and you know, going down the track, it actually pins the car down a little bit. So, but we're nowhere near that. So that's why I don't think it's, I don't know, it just looks too race car, and this car is going to be pretty much looking just like this with a stock hood. So that's the way I'm going to do it. But anyway, so what we need to do next is I'm going to have to get this downpipe over to my friend who has a TIG welder, or eventually I may need to just buy a TIG welder. I don't know. And we're going to have to do the O2 sensor. Here's the O2 sensor, not that one. One of these. Oh, right here. Here's the O2 sensor. So we'll probably just have it sitting right here, coming out right here. I think that would be the best spot for it. Okay, so here's what I come up with. So I had to run a little coupler in between these two, this 90, and then this 45, and then this 90-degree charge pipe just down to this coupler. So I don't know, I would probably I'd like to have someone make me maybe a custom pipe for this, and then just have one coupler instead of these two. I think that would be better. The less, yeah, the way it works is the less couplers the better. You don't want to have too many. I've had them blow off on me before, so, but you know, it's not that big of a deal. I mean, 14 pounds, 15 pounds for now, it won't blow those couplers off. So, but if we get up into the 30-pound range, which I'm hoping for, then we'll have problems. We'll have to get those clamshells they use for these. You know, they weld on a clamshell, and basically everything. It's impossible for it to blow off. So, all right, so that's pretty much it for now. I got to take the turbo back off, and so I can get to the drain here. That drain, I have another fitting. This little kit I bought came with this fitting for that. So I need to mount that, but I got to take the turbo back off for that, or the compressor housing off for that, to get that to fit. Yeah, and then basically, once I get that on there, I'll have to make a line. So I got these fittings here. I got this fitting, and so yeah, here. So this will come off of the turbo, like that, the 90, and then it'll hook to this braided line. I'm gonna have to cut it a little bit. It's a little too long. They give you about 2.5 feet, and then this will go on this end and go into the block down at the bottom. So down in here. So it's kind of hard to see, but you can see where it's at, where I mounted that. So, and then that's it. That's pretty much all I got to do. So I'll have the feed, the drain, the downpipe, I got to wait because I know it's going to be a few days before I get the wastegate. Then I'll have the wastegate. I'll have everything I need to start this up. Now, depending on what I do, I'm most likely going to have to go ahead and just get a standalone. And I'm going to try to, because I want to make it to Cletus and Cars, which is November 2nd, I think, which is only about 3.5 weeks. So I'm going to have to run the stock ECU for the transmission, and I'm going to have to. So yeah, so when I wire up the standalone, I don't have to use the mass air anymore. So I don't want to have to use that. The mass air is pretty tiny on these, so that's going to be a major restriction. So I have a lot to get done. I'm going to need to get injectors and standalone, probably going with the ECU master. The reason is because there's really good support with it. They have a lot of base maps and a lot of tuning experience for this particular motor, and it can control VVTi. It's got knock sensor control. It's got all kinds of stuff, and for the price, you know, it's $1,099 for the ECU Masters EMU Black, and yeah, so that's probably what I'm going to go with. So that's all I need is injectors, the standalone, and I'm basically just going to pin it myself, wire it up, because I'm going to have the transmission also hooked up. So it's going to be kind of a mess for now, since it's going to be a little bit too much work in 3 weeks to get a transmission, and have a transmission built and a converter built and all that. Those take a week or two alone. So I'm going to have to stick with the stock transmission for now. So, but yeah, that's where I'm at now. I appreciate you guys following along, watching these videos and checking out this build. My goals for this are definitely to get this thing deep in the 10s and get into the 9s. I think it's very possible, very easy. 650, 600 horsepower, maybe. 2,500 pound car. I mean, if you do the math, it's extremely doable. So anyway, that's going to do it for this video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing this turbo get put on there, and hopefully the next video we're firing it up. Like I said, I got to get the wastegate and all that still, so I'm probably not going to make another video until I get the wastegate, and I'll show, putting that on. We're going to have to cut the flange off and put the V-band on there. So, but anyway, that's going to do it. Like, share, and subscribe. Check you all next time.